Hello everybody and welcome to Bittersweet Theory. I have went to the movies and watched Wicked. I have been a fan for a long time. I remember my sister having a copy of the book, but I was not allowed to read it because it was hers and she really didn't want anything to happen to it. My love for Wicked came to life when my best friend told me that they had created a musical from the book. Being a theater kid, I was hooked, and me and my best friend still sing the songs all the time. When me and my mom went to see Wicked on the big screen, I was aggressively patting her arm when my favorite songs were about to happen. Despite being whisked away by the amazing performances of all the actors, I was drawn to what was happening with the animals. Before I go into all of that, I wanted to explain a few things about the Wizard of Oz movies. For this video, I'm going to start with Wicked first, then look at the two different versions of the story. What I mean is that the animals are going to be different in Wicked versus the 1939 version of the film, and then the 2013 The Great and Powerful Oz. With Wicked's version of the story, we are getting an in-depth look of what is happening with these animals in Oz. Before seeing Wicked, I had just done a theory about how pets in cartoons can't speak and other animals who are independent can. The theory went over how characters that are seen as independent people can speak, but if they are a pet or dependent, they cannot. Seeing what happened to these creatures in Wicked makes me believe we are seeing this theory in reverse. The animals start out as independent creatures who can speak, but then are forced to be dependent and are forced to lose their ability to speak. In this land of Oz, animals have always had the ability to speak and develop it over time. We see that animals are also highly intelligent creatures that range from doctors to professors. So in this world, animals have never been considered pets or dependents. They were independent from the very beginning. Now the wizard is forcing animals into cages, forcing them to be guards to protect the Emerald City against their will. He even goes as far as to threaten their families' lives. At this point, he is more like the evil queen we see in Alice in Wonderland. Now, after seeing this, I was ready to call PETA after seeing everything that went down with these animals. Animal abuse is not okay, even in films. I know it's not real, but still, it still makes me upset. It just does. So, in this film, we are seeing how animals are being forced to lose their ability to speak. They are being forced to become dependent creatures. They are losing their will to be independent people of Oz. I wanted to use a specific word for what was going on here, but I think it's just too complicated for them. What is happening to them is these animals are being forced to give up their civil rights, such as the right to work in certain professions or attend schools. We see this when Dr. Dillman is forced out of the classroom. The loss of rights continues when we see another professor bring in a small cub. He explained that if animals are put into cages, then they have a chance that they will never be able to learn how to speak. What is happening is that the animals are becoming symbols of obedience. The animals' persecution leads to a lot of the unfair society that the wizard is creating. This is an example of using negative reinforcement that the wizard and the other people are using to get what they want out of the animals in the film. As we know, the wizard has come from a world where animals cannot speak and are pets. I believe that is what he's trying to do here. He is trying to force the animals of Oz to become like pets in our world. Doing some more research, I did find out that the cub that gets saved does go on to be the Cowardly Lion. He's afraid of everything around him for good reason, but his fear is not stopping him from speaking. What is the unknown factors that allow the lion to keep his ability to speak? It could be that he was far enough away from society, but please let me know what you think down in the comments of what else it could be going on here. All of this brings up one question. Why is he doing this? Why is the wizard wanting to prevent these animals from speaking? I believe the answer is the control of knowledge. Some animals, like Dr. Dillman, are highly educated and influential. The government seeks to suppress their voices and control and maintain power, fearing that the influence might change the status quo. Also, there is a good chance the animals might be able to read from the grimoire that holds all of the powerful spells of Oz. In the 1930s version of the film Wizard of Oz, the theory still holds up. The Cowardly Lion can speak and is an independent person in the film. However, Toto is Dorothy's pet and cannot speak. Maybe in this version of the story, if Toto and Dorothy had stayed in Oz longer, Toto might have gotten the ability to speak. I say this because at the end of the film we find out that it was all a dream that Dorothy had. That's why a lot of the characters reflect her family members. Unfortunately, we'll never know more, but for this movie, the theory does hold up. 2013, Oz the Great and Powerful, we meet Finley, who is an independent person who can speak. We also get to see the Cowardly Lion in this movie as well. He is not speaking, and this is where I'm not sure if the theory holds up for this film. Since the Cowardly Lion scene is so short, we see him run off and that's it. We get no real confirmation whether he can speak or not. But I see no reason why the Cowardly Lion can't. I'll let you decide down in the comments. Do you feel like the animals in this movie have the ability to speak all along? Or just choose not to? Before I go, I have read the comments from my last video about Courage, the cowardly dog. I do want to give him the justice that he deserves. After seeing Wicked, I realized that fear can play a factor into this theory, so I will say that Courage can talk. I was wrong before. Much like Scooby-Doo can, and that makes him an independent person in the show. The reason why it comes off that he can't speak to Eustace and Muriel, it could be the fact that he is afraid of Eustace the entire time. He could be letting his fear get the better of him and all of his words come out as babbling. Another thing that I did find is that Courage can talk to Muriel directly. It's only when Eustace is in the room that he starts babbling like he's trying to speak. So I think there's more of a fear factor here than Courage being seen as a pet and unable to speak properly. That is all I have for this theory for now. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know what you think down in the comments. Please subscribe if you haven't. And until next time, it's been bittersweet.